Welcome back, everybody. Brent Edmonds is back here with you. Today, man, step 6. I really hope that everybody's going through those 5 days off and incorporating these strategies, because when you take it within those 5 days, you're now starting to make it into habit, right? It's a part of your everyday routine, and that is the amazing part of breaking it down just like that. Okay, and that is what we're trying to build. Okay, within your everyday life to help you become successful, even outside of just this game of the game of baseball. If you're a football person and you came across this and you saw this, you thought it was cool, that you want to do it, great. So outside of just sport, okay. So today is mental imagery and meditation. This is probably one of my most favorite ones that I've learned. This is one thing that I never really did or learned when I was at your guys' age. Hopefully you guys are not at the college level yet. Even if you're in the college level, you're learning it. It's not too late. For me, it was a little bit. Being undersized and the whole outworking mentality. I learned this by my senior year, and this is when I truly incorporated it, and I got a couple stories about it. So, if you could just imagine and picture, what you can be doing, especially getting this down at the high school, middle school level, I mean, you're going to be head over heels over top of everybody in your league, right? Even if you're in those top-notch competition leagues, tournaments, okay, you are going to stand out amongst a lot of top talented players. Even if you may not be the most talented at that moment, but if you show that you have a strong mental game, even if you are one of those top talented people, top talented kids, you add this on top of it, coaches are going to be raving. Okay, because they're going to be like, you don't see very many kids like this at this age doing the things that you're doing in the game, because they'll be able to take notice. Okay, so mental imagery. First, what is mental imagery? So here's the definition. Sometimes we'll throw around the term visualization. Okay, it's the process of creating mental experiences that resemble the physical experiences. Okay. And second, what is meditation? Meditation is being able to learn to quiet your mind. Okay. It helps you to be more relaxed and in the present. This results in less stress and greater focus on accomplishing your goals. These two can kind of go hand in hand. I mean, technically, you don't need to meditate and be able to use mental imagery. You definitely can. Okay, one way that I've found that meditation works very well, and like I mentioned in the last one, I was a teacher. I actually used meditation in my room. I walked them through kind of like the guided mental imagery that you're going to be getting, the document, and I will show you it. But I talked them through it, getting themselves to that point of relaxation, focusing on that deep breath. Okay, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Even right then, I feel 10 times better. But while you have your eyes closed, I mean, you got to find a good posture first. Okay, and so I'm gonna walk you through meditation a little bit right now. If you're sitting down, you gotta get yourself in a great posture. All right, you gotta make sure your spine is straight, neck and head is forward. Okay, sitting kind of like Indian style, that's what we used to call it. Now they call it crisscross applesauce. Kind of like the butterfly stretch. But you don't need to be in the butterfly stretch. And you don't have to do this, okay? If you think this is goofy and silly, trust me, I used to. Especially back in high school, we made it hard on our teacher who was trying to teach us some meditation, because we did it down by the wrestling room, which is down by the gym. They were playing dodgeball that day. We wanted to go play dodgeball. So, I mean, I get it. Meditation is so mindful, and I mean, it releases and brings you back some energy. Okay, some positive energy. Okay, so some things that need to be going through your head. I mean, you can easily distract yourself. Okay, you can use the mental imagery in it, like, okay, as I'm doing it and I'm focusing on my deep breath, I'm picturing that I'm on a beach. Okay, I'm picturing the sounds, the feel of the sand. Okay, just all the details around you to feel more relaxed. Okay, and I take myself there. And then when you come out of it, you feel so relaxed, just like you've been relaxing and you've been on vacation. Right? Even though you've been right here the whole time. So you're basically like getting outside of your own body for a little bit. Okay, if that makes sense. So mental imagery and visualization, kind of like I just mentioned, when you do it. And the thing is, you can do these two things separate, or you can do them together. Okay. If you want to knock both of them out at the same time, do them both at the same time. But mental imagery is really breaking it down, like I've just mentioned. All the feels, smells, so every sense that we have, we make it that realistic. Okay, we take ourselves there. Alright? So, you know, I use the picture of the sand. Okay? The beach, being on the beach, just chilling. So, I smell the ocean. I feel the sand. I hear the waves. Right? Smell. I can taste the air. Right? And I can feel. Okay, I feel the sand on my feet. I feel the water touching my feet. Being in the ocean. Whatever it may be. Okay, so you can use them both together, or you can do it separate. Okay, it is totally different than daydreaming. Okay, so one daydreaming, we can all do it. And it's only for small moments, and we're not really getting it down to every single detail. Okay? So when I used it, the two instances that I used it, I had amazing performances. Okay? So one was my first start when I transferred to BW my junior year, and I learned this. It was my first start, brand new team. You know, I just wanted to go out, have some fun, perform. I was confident. I threw the hardest that I ever threw in my life. You know, being there. You know, I hit 88 in the fall, so I was confident. And you know, at first I went in over amp, but the game before, you know, I was pitching the second game of the doubleheader. I was doing my job. You know, I think I was on the gun. Okay, the radar gun, and charting it. But I was sitting there, you know, with my water. Okay, make sure I was hydrating. You know, my gallon jug of water. And I just sat there, and you know, it seemed like I may have been daydreaming, but I was sitting there picturing my performance. And what I was visualizing was, okay, it helped that I was there, but in being able to smell it and all the details. But I was sitting there picturing all those details down to its finest core. Okay, and I was picturing myself every single inning. You know, and by the ninth, you know, I had a perfect game. Okay, I imagined that, and it was the entire game, the entire 7, 8, 9 inning game. I believe it was 9 innings the first game. And then I went out there. I went through my pregame routine, did my long toss, my bullpen, and then I was ready to go. Okay, and I was a little bit overamped. I was a little bit high, throwing too hard. And then I'm like, I gotta knock this down. Okay. And the leadoff hitter, of course, it was already a 2-0 count. All my pitches were high, so he got ball 1, ball 2. I was trying to overpower him. So I calmed it down. Of course, he was already in a good hitter's count, and he smoked this ball to the center. Thank God I had one of the fastest center fielders I've ever played with, and a great defender. He went and caught this ball like behind him against the warning track. It was amazing. But then after that point, I was locked in. Through all 9 innings, I didn't have a strikeout, and I didn't have a walk. That's what made me last 9 innings, was the no walks. But I gave up like 3 hits, 1 run, and it came unearned. It was an amazing game, amazing feeling. So then after that, I had this great ERA coming out of Florida, like a 1.13. I wanted to keep it there. But I also forgot to do my mental imagery and picture my performance. I jumped the gun, like, how when we revert back to process over outcome? Well, I got caught up in the outcome, which was keep my ERA there. Maybe I can get recognized by pro scouts. I don't know. But I put that pressure on myself, and then I stopped performing like I did in that 9-game complete game. So that was one instance. So the next instance, when I got to use mental imagery, and I really made sure, I was not consistent with it. That was my problem. I needed to be more consistent with it. This was another 9-inning complete game. Gave up 9 hits in this one. Oh well, I gave up 1 run. We won the game 2-1. But I mean, I live in Ohio, and in between classes, I chilled in my car, and it was snowing. I'm like, there's no way we're playing. There's no way. But didn't hear anything all day from coach. I'm like, man, we're playing. All right, time to lock in. And I was starting that day, and I knew that. The entire way to Oberlin, it was probably like a 30-40 minute drive. I mean, I was sitting there imagining like I was pitching down in Florida, feeling the warmth, feeling the dirt on my feet, feeling the sun, smelling the grass, all breaking on all 5 senses. And I just pictured like it was 85, 90 degrees, it was warm, and I was the warmest guy out there. And I pitched a great game, right? I gave up 9 hits, but that happens. But I gave up 1 run, I limited it, and we won the game. Through all 9, no walks, 3 Ks. Awesome game. So that is the power of mental imagery. Okay, so why is it important? It helps you to stay calm and focused in the present moment. Okay. Number 2, you evaluate circumstances and respond to situations logically and rationally. Sometimes we get in those situations where we can just get out of control because that's the easiest reaction we could have. Rather than taking that deep breath, slow yourself down and be able to think in that situation and make the correct choice. Demonstrate their grit and desire to stick with it. Okay. So this helps you to be able to stick to your goals and stick to the process. Better manage your ups and downs of competition and your overall goal achievement. Helps by turning off stress and switch to recovery mode. So when you're doing like a post game, it's recovery mode, right? Recovery mode on your mind, your brain, along with your body, because now your body needs oxygen in order to repair itself. Okay. The one way to do it is by getting that oxygen in, so breathing, the deep breathing, and then getting that carbon dioxide out. I'm so sorry. They're not similar, but they're similar in how you say them. Easy to confuse. So anyway, back on track. So that's why this is important. So make sure you do the assessment, and so while you're doing this, when you apply it, you got to make sure that you practice adversity. So you're gonna list down an adversity setting that you may be in. So as a pitcher, base loaded, no outs. how are you going to deal with that situation? I mean, some runs may come in, you may get out of it unscathed. How are you going to handle that situation and get better and still perform in the game? Okay. But you got to be able to imagine those adversity settings in order to handle it in real life. Okay. And then mental performance before physical performance. Okay, so 5 minutes before you go perform, do some mental imagery. Then even post. Okay, at the end. Okay, wrap it up and reflect a little bit on your performance. And then picture yourself doing better, right? Fixing the things that you needed to fix that you didn't do well that day. Okay, and then imagine your success, moving forward. Alright, so some strategies, so some guided mental imagery. And this is how you need to break it down. Okay, you can have somebody talking to you, you can do it yourself, it doesn't really matter. But let's go over to the guided mental imagery. This is the whole list on how you walk through it. Okay, it's 4 pages. But this right here is how it's getting broken down. Okay. Going to state of relaxation. You got your positive self-talk. Okay. Going backward. Okay, so then you're going to do some mental recall, which is going to be going back toward previous success. Okay, where you had success. Okay, then you're going to do mental rehearsal, going forward to your next performance. Okay, so you're going to take the things that you did well in a previous success setting, and you're going to take it into your next performance. So say you're a starting pitcher, you recall the time that you had success, and you're going to move on to your next start. So say you're facing the #1 team in the nation, Marietta. I was D3, they're #1, and they're currently #1. My alma mater's number 11, which is pretty sweet. But Marietta's always up at the top, so whenever Baldwin Wallace makes it, I mean, it's a pretty big deal when they make the top 25, so they haven't done that in years. So anyway, back to mental rehearsal. So say I had success against Mount Union, but I didn't have success my next start against, let's just say, Hiram. Okay. So now I'm going on to my next start is pegged to be Marietta. So I'm going to recall Mount Union, what I did well, and then take it in and imagine myself facing Marietta and doing those same exact things. Okay. And then after you're done doing that, you're going to come out of it, you're going to bring yourself back to the present moment. Okay. Like I was mentioning, to make sure you list those adversity settings, and then you practice those conditions as well. That would be separate from this one. Okay. Just prepare yourself for those situations. And then there's a whole bunch more on the guided imagery, an entire script, okay, that you can use. Some examples of the positive self-talk. Okay, if you want somebody, like say your dad is going to be willing to do this with you, he can go through this script with you. Okay. And honestly, after a few times, I mean, you're pretty much going to know this script like it's nothing. Okay, so just walk you through the mental imagery assessment. So that was strategy number 1, was your guided mental imagery. So your assessment, just looking over, some of these questions, just answer them, 100% honestly. 1 is clear, 2 is kind of, and 3 is not. So when you're answering these, so when you do your mental imagery, do you imagine yourself making plays or executing strategies in competition? If so, you put down clear. If you don't do it in your mental imagery, then it could be either a kind of or a not. Okay, it all depends on you. Okay, make sure you are 100% transparent during that. Okay, And then you're also going to be getting the scripts to the 628 and the 5x5 box meditation strategies. Okay, 628 is virtually you breathing in. So this is just meditation. Okay, like I said, you can use imagery. You can choose not to. You can just clear your mind. 628 is breathing in for 6 seconds. You hold it for 2 seconds, and then you breathe out for 8. Okay, so it's in through the nose. Hold. Breathe out. And then you repeat. Okay. And then you got the 5x5 box, so it's kind of like a box. So you breathe in for 5, you hold for 5, you exhale for 5, hold for 5, and keep repeating, kind of like a box. Okay. I personally, you can adjust this. Okay. You can adjust this. That works best for you. I found, because I've used both, trying to count and breathe in for 6 seconds, hold for 2 seconds, 8 seconds. You don't want to be short of breath. You want to be able to control your breath. I was finding that I was getting short of breath. Same with a little bit with 5x5. It was a little bit less with the 5x5 box. So I just started making sure I was just breathing in for a good amount. Okay. Scratch the counting, scratched all that. Hold, breathe out, and repeat. Okay, breathe in, hold for 1 to 2 seconds, breathe out. Making sure I'm fully in control of that and I'm not getting short of breath. Okay. Whatever works for you, okay, make sure you do it. So let's just recap. Mental imagery, make sure you get down all 5 senses when you do it. Okay. Meditation is all about clearing the mind. Okay, the deep breathing, getting yourself relaxed and quieting the mind. Make sure you do the assessment. Be 100% honest. Okay. Make sure you practice the adversity, in your mental imagery. Okay, so imagine those situations, those hard situations. Like I gave the example, you got your pitcher, you got bases loaded, no outs. How are you going to handle it? How are you going to respond? Okay. Also add in doing some mental imagery before practice. Just takes about 5 minutes. And you can do a post. Okay. Post practice. Reflect on your practice. Maybe some things that you need to get better for tomorrow's practice or your very next practice. Okay. And then your strategies. You got the guided mental imagery. Follow that script. Okay. It's pretty easy to do, even without the script. Okay. You may only need that script for 1 or 2 times, but the thing is, you always have it. If you need to ever go back and look at it, you can. All right. And then you got the meditation strategy is 628, and then the 5x5 box. Okay. Like I said, you can customize it best for you. You can personalize it best for you. Okay. If those don't work, make sure we work on this for the next 5 days. I'm sure most of you guys are going to feel amazing, energetic, and ready to attack step 7. Coming up, step 7, we will have routines and habits. Okay? So stay tuned, get to work, and I'll see you in about 5 days.